What's up, guys? So in this one, we'll be looking at Flyway integrating with H2 database running in server mode. Okay, so what is Flyway and why do you want to use it? So Flyway is basically a database migration tool which allows us to import data, tables, and schema into our application at runtime. It helps us version our database schemas and changes so that we can keep track of what we are doing. So in this episode, we'll be learning about how Flyway works with H2. How do we put the folder structure for the migration? How do we version data? And how do we migrate it into our project? So let's get to it. Okay, so let's start by searching what is Flyway. So as I presented earlier, it's just an open source database migration tool. So the first thing we're going to need is to add the dependency for Flyway. Okay, Flyway. Okay, there you go. Then we do the import. Okay, then once we have imported, then we're going to need the folder structure, which is database slash migration, which will be database, then the folder down migration. So we will create our first SQL as shown on the documentation. So the first is the versioning, then the file name. So it will be v1/create because we want to start by creating the table user. Okay, so go add that user table.sql. Okay, then let's do our H2 data source connection because the IDE likes to complain. So let's shut it down. Okay, connected to the data source. So let's get the user table. Put it in here. Okay, there you go. And let's run it. So we started by creating the schema, then creating the users table. So now what you're going to do, you want to enable the location, but by default this is enabled, so we don't need to do that. And Flyway is also enabled by default, so what I'm doing now is really not that necessary, but for interest sake we'll just find it. Okay, as you can see on the logs there, it's importing the script inside the migration folder. So let's delete our database and then disable it. We just want to see if this actually does work as expected. So we disabled Flyway, so we're going to run it again, and then let's see. So open our console log. Okay, password. Okay, then if you can see, our schema is not there. You see there's no table, there's no schema, so we'll just enable it now. Okay, so now that it's enabled, let's restart the application. Okay, now that it's enabled, okay, sorry, let me start by deleting the database. Okay, delete. Okay, let's run it again. Okay, if you can see on the logs there, it's running our script. So it was start by creating the schema, and then it's reading that version 1. You see public 2 version 1. So it's reading that version 1 SQL script, and then let's refresh. Okay, and password. Okay, now we have the password, then the schema is here. So now we have the database user, but it doesn't have data, it's just the database. So it's just a table. So let's create a V2 which will populate the test data for us. Add user data. Okay, then we slap test data into it. So let's stop application. Okay, deleting the database. Let's restart. Okay, as you can see now, we importing two scripts: the create user and adding user data. So now if we go to our console, let's refresh. Okay, password. Okay, so now we have test schema users, and then when we run, we have the data, the test data into it. Happy days.